Hello tiny house people, I'm back with another review. This is one that I've really been looking forward to doing for quite a long time, and the subject of the video is solar cooking. I have two solar cookers that I'm going to be reviewing. One is a box cooker that I made myself. It's kind of a large bulky beast, and that's in storage at a friend's house, so I'm not going to be covering that in this video. I'll pull that out of storage and review that at another time. The video that I'm going to be doing today covers a parabolic solar cooker called the Sun Juicer, and I have it here. Just arrived in the mail about a half an hour ago, and I'm looking forward to opening it up. I was originally going to buy a parabolic solar cooker called the Soul Source, which is a beautiful solar cooker, but it's expensive. It was like $600. Between $500 and $600, and even if you break it down and put it back in the box that it came in, it still takes up a lot of space in a tiny house, and space is everything in a tiny house, as you know, because at the heart of the tiny house is simplicity. I'm not looking for the small house so much as I am looking for a simpler lifestyle, which is why I invest in things like the solar cookers. But I've researched this subject a lot over the years with some great books like this one, Cooking with the Sun, Cooking with Sunshine, the solar food dryer, which is another one that I built, or partially built, that's also in storage along with my box cooker. I'll be covering that at another time too. What I won't be able to do is demonstrate the Sun Juicer today because it is raining here in Minnesota, so I'll have to do that on another day. But I will open the package up and get a look at it and check out the assembly and see what's all inside and how it operates and everything. I'm really looking forward to working with this parabolic system, because this one's small enough to store in a tiny house. Obviously, the package it came in is pretty small. So before I go any further, I'm going to set the camera down, and then I'm going to show you the original Sun Juicer video so you can get an idea of what this thing is. And then when that's over, I'll come back and I'll have the contents of the package displayed out on the floor here in the basement, and we will get a look at what we're dealing with. I'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm Leo. I'm an artist and a designer. For many years I've been working in some designs of ultra-lightweight solar cookers. I wanted them to be affordable, easy to ship, and efficient. After a lot of designing, prototyping, and testing, I came up with what I named the Sun Juicer. The Sun Juicer is an emergency parabolic solar cooker assembly kit. It fries and grills, boils, steams. It cooks for 2 to 3 people at a time. It can also light a fire. It is so compact when not assembled that it's great for storing in small spaces. Its assembly is completely manual, no tools are required. Even though it is for emergencies, it can also be used in many daily situations, like a backyard, picnic, camping, a balcony, and even indoors behind a window. It weighs around 1 pound, so it's also really practical and economical for shipping compared to other bulky parabolic systems. It has a very intuitive and simple mechanism to align it with the sun's position. It's really easy to use, and with some practice gets even easier. Once aimed correctly, it will concentrate enough heat to cook. All you will need to do is slightly realign it every 15 to 20 minutes, if the cooking times requires it. The Sun Juicer can be used with a variety of lidded pots and pans, or even cans. It's better if they are black in color, or at least blackened on the bottom. For more than a year, as long as the sun was shining, the Sun Juicer has provided us with great meals. I don't know what it is, but for some reason meals have never tasted better. Thanks to all these qualities, the Sun Juicer has educational benefits as well. It is great to cook and at the same time create awareness of the power of these renewable energies. Anyone who uses it or just sees it in action becomes an instant believer. I'm very excited to share the experience of using the Sun Juicer with all of you. It just feels right to cook with the help of the sun. By pledging for our rewards, your support will help us move forward with setup costs for our first production run. Even though the Sun Juicer was conceived for emergencies, we don't need to wait for one to come. The whole planet is facing energetic and environmental challenges that affect us all. The use of renewable energies in all its forms should be a must. What I see for the future of the Sun Juicer is that an increase in demand ultimately will lower costs, making it even more accessible for all of those who can benefit from its use. With your help and support, we can make this happen.
Alright, now that you've had a look at that, I've got the contents of the bag displayed out on the floor here. Here's the reflector panels, the wood struts and things that hold it together, the instructions, and this awesome red bag that it came in. How cool is that? So I'm going to zip through the instructions here and I'll be back as I assemble. Alright, I've got these laid out and displayed just as they are in the book. And I'm on to the next step. Okay, the instruction book was written really well. Well, they get 5 stars, 5 out of 5 stars for writing this wonderful instruction book. It's just clear and concise. So what I've done is folded the reflectors over as per the instructions, as per the clear instructions. And I'm ready to move on to the next step. Show you how they're folded. You notice one corner here is pointed, and that's how you know which side you're dealing with. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, Parabola folds over on itself, and the tabs come through on the other side and hold it in place. Pretty sweet little deal. And I will be back in a moment. Okay, I've got it assembled. Assembly was straightforward and pretty simple. Not difficult at all. Not really, but it was tedious. By the time you get done assembling the parabolic portion of it, you'll probably have a headache from looking at slots and silver tabs. But beyond that, it's straightforward and pretty simple. It's not terribly sturdy, so it probably won't hold up to strong winds. So if you got strong winds, we have to shelter it from the wind, or maybe not even use it if it's too windy. But pretty awesome little thing. I don't know how easy it is to disassemble and store away back in the bag. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm going to leave it as is until the weather improves here in a day or two, hopefully, and I'll get out there and I'll try cooking something with it and wrap up the video. So we'll see you when the weather improves. Okay, I've been playing around with this thing for like 3 days now outside, and I haven't had a whole lot of luck with it. And it has nothing to do with the product. The product is great. I really like this thing. The problems I'm having is, number one, my lack of experience with solar cooking, but I'm learning fast and I'm really enjoying the process, so I'm having a great time with it. That's one problem. Second problem is I don't have any black cookware that's covered. And the instruction booklet, states quite clearly that you really need black cookware that's covered. I just don't have any at the moment, and I'll get some, and I'll try again later. Right now I got this little pan here. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. Okay, that I tried to boil some water in, but the biggest problem by far is these damn clouds just keep coming in and blocking out the sun. So solar cooking isn't really worth a damn unless you got a really cloudless day, at least with a parabolic cooker. But if you have a cloudless day, then you're in luck. The other way might, if you have a box cooker like an oven, that might work better because, when the clouds pass in front of the sun, you lose, the sun heat for a moment, but it's insulated, so it'll trap the heat in there for a little while, and you can't do that with this. But I want to share a tip that I've discovered with you by accident. I was standing around up here on the patio, and I found a piece of tar paper lying around up here. And just to see if this thing was working, I held the tar paper at the focal point to see if it would smoke, and it did. But I've discovered that it's a useful tool. What I did is I cut the tar paper in a way that works comfortably for me. And I've discovered that you can find the focal point really easy with a piece of tar paper by holding it here. Now if you watch it for a second, it'll start to smoke. Now you can see the smoke, or the tar paper melting right in the center. And it's a little bit off, but it's pretty close to where I want it. And then when you step away and let it cool, the tar solidifies again. And you can continue to reuse the same piece of paper over and over. So I found this to actually be a useful tool in determining where the focal point is. And the sun has gone behind the cloud. So I don't think I'm going to have a whole lot of luck today. It's just too damn many clouds. But I'll try again. If the skies clear up, I'll try again. Or I'll just wait till another day. So I'll check back with you later. Okay, it's about 8:45 in the morning, and I'm going to try boiling some water now. I've been practicing with this thing for a few days. Got a beautiful cloudless sky. And I bought this black pan at a thrift shop the other day just so I have something to play around with while I learn how to use this thing, because there is a learning curve. You don't just jump right into it and it works perfect like like an oven in the kitchen. There's a learning curve to this, but it's a lot of fun. So I got the focal point where I want it to be. Checked it with my tar paper and everything, and it's looking pretty good. So I'm going to put the lid on this. This is actually a steamer, but it should be fine because it's black on the bottom. Gonna set it up in there, and I will be back in a little while to check on its progress. Okay, here's another tip I have for you. If you set this up on the ground, it should work just fine. It's not going to make any difference, but it's going to make it a little more difficult to check the focal point because you'll have to get underneath on your hands and knees to check, unless you use one of the other methods like like the paper like I used here, the tar paper. But if it's on the ground, it can be a little more difficult to get underneath. If it's up on top of a table like this, picnic table or something, all you got to do is get underneath, and you can see the sun shining right on the bottom of the pan. And that's another good way of checking for the focal point. Okay, I've had this thing on here for just under an hour. The water is boiling. There's steam coming out of it. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I could definitely see steam coming out. It's boiling. I had my ear close to the pot. I can hear just a rolling boil in there. I don't know if it's a big rolling boil or a low boil, but it's boiling. Took under an hour, a little under an hour, which I think is a long time. I'm going to work with this and see if I can figure out the best way to boil water and make it boil the fastest. And if I had boiled less water, I'm sure it would have boiled much quicker than that. But it worked at any rate. And I'm going to open the lid here so we can get a look at what's going on inside there. I usually want to take this off first, but I'm going to be very careful. Leave it on here. There it comes. And you can see water's boiling at the bottom. So it's a pretty low boil. So it does work. And I will be back with updates and improvements as I go along. Okay, I got some used cookware at a thrift store. This is the one that I used for the experiment in the last segment, which did successfully boil water, but I want to see if I can get it to boil faster, more evenly. And this one I haven't used yet. I'll get to that later, but I sprayed it with this heat-resistant flat black paint. Now, this one was already black, but I painted it with just the bottom of it with a coat, just to make sure that it was more evenly coated. And this one wasn't black at all. It was kind of a gray steel. And I'm going to let them dry out here for a while, and then I'm going to give those a try. This one has a clear glass cover that I'm looking forward to trying out. I think that's going to give me the best results. But I'll be back in a little while. Okay, it's about 10:40 right now. I put this pot of water on here at about 10:30, 10:32, somewhere in there. Now yesterday, in the previous segment, you saw that I spray painted the entire outside of the pot black. The interior of the pot already was black. It came that way. And I'm thinking that this is going to work a lot better. Excuse me. The instructions say the instructions say to use a covered pot, and yesterday I tried the steam cooker and it successfully boiled water. I want to see if I can make it work faster. The problem with the steam cooker is that it had holes in the lid. It was manufactured that way to let the steam out, and that's going to let some of the hot air out too. This is not like cooking over an open flame. You want to trap as much heat in the pot as you possibly can. And I think this is going to work a lot better. Not only will the pot absorb light being reflected up to the bottom of it from the parabolic reflector, but it will also absorb sunlight that's being shined down directly on the pot itself, around the sides, through the clear glass lid, and into the black interior. So this is going to be collecting probably a lot more heat. And I think this is going to work a lot better. I got 4 cups of water in there. We'll see how long it takes to boil. It's probably going to take a while. I mean, this is not like cooking over an open flame, like I said, but it's pretty cool. I'm having a fun time with it. And I'll be back in a little while to check on its progress. All right, I'm continuing right where I left off. The time is about the same. So when I put this on here, I just want to mention I had 4 cups of cold water in there, and it's been just under 15 minutes. I lifted the lid off and put my finger in there, and it's already too hot to touch. It's uncomfortably hot to the touch. So that's, 10, 15 minutes, and it got that hot already. So it's working great already. So I'll be back in a few minutes with another update. Okay, it's been almost exactly 45 minutes, and it has begun to boil. You can't see it through the lid. I open it up here a little bit. Maybe we can get a little shot of the water boiling in there. But it's faster. It's boiled faster today than it did yesterday with this new black pot that I've got. And I think I put more water in this pot than I did in the test pot yesterday. I can't remember how much I actually put in the other one. This one's got 4 cups. And less water, of course, is going to boil faster, but I'm pleased with it so far. Okay, I'd like you to bear in mind, it's been about 55 minutes, but bear in mind that I have been inside watching the television just inside the door. So that way, if I detect a problem through the window, I could come out here and rectify that. But sometime in the last 5 or 10 minutes while I was indoors, this thing started to boil like a madman. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is at an absolute rolling boil. So it took about, like I said, 50 to 55 minutes, honestly. I'm not sure exactly, but it's somewhere, I'm going to say about 55 minutes. And I'm happy with that. You know, solar cooking is not about instantaneous results. I mean, quicker is better, but I mean, I can always just go do something else while I wait for it to boil. I'm really pleased with this. This thing works great, as you can see yourself. Here's the evidence. I'm going to open the lid here very gently, get a peek inside. So, at any rate, it looks like I steamed up the lens. But there you go. So the next experiment will be to cook something. I'm sure I won't have any problems with that at all. I have been having an absolute fabulous time playing with this thing. I've really enjoyed this. So I'm looking forward to actually cooking something on it. So I'll check back with you soon. It's about 10 minutes to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I got a burger on. Don't really have much in the way of a flat frying pan, so I'm going to use the same pan I did for boiling water. I washed it out really good, got it nice and clean on the inside, and we'll see how it goes here in a few minutes. I just flipped the burger one time. It's cooking great. It's not really sizzling or anything, but it's cooking really well. It's a little slow to start up. I had a little trouble finding the focal point. But it's coming along really well. Okay, I just started another burger. The other one is finished. It took about 20 minutes to a half hour, which I think was kind of a long time, but I did start it early in the morning and the sun wasn't very high. Noon is always the best time to do this kind of stuff, but it is cooked all the way through. It's cooked just great. Good turkey burger. So I started another one. I'll check the time here. It is 9:23 right now, so I'll be back in a little while to flip the burger. Alright, this one took about the same as the last one, a little faster, 25 minutes or so. I got another one on, and this one was cooking like a madman when I took it off. It was sizzling and popping and everything. So I got another one started. I adjusted the dish, and I got another one going. I'll be back in a little while. Okay, my last burger is in there. I don't know if you can see that clearly. I'll try to get a better shot. But it is sizzling and cooking down in there really nice. This is almost like cooking in an oven in a sense, because the pot almost becomes an oven. Now I'd like to point out that this is just a demonstration video. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It works. This thing works great. I made 3 burgers. Each one took, 20 minutes to a half hour. The first couple took longer because it was earlier in the day. The sun wasn't as high in the sky. And there are absolutely lots of room. There is lots of room for improvement. I could have used a griddle, a skillet, and fried all 3 burgers at the same time, saving time. Absolutely, I could have. I just don't happen to have one that's suitable for this yet. And of course, I'm going to get one. I know there's a company out there that actually makes a solar pan for that, for frying things, but it's like $100, so I'm going to see if I can find a way around that. But yeah, I could have used a griddle and fried them all 3 at the same time. So there's lots of room for improvement in here. So this is the way that I'm doing this. Isn't the way that I probably won't do burgers again this way. I probably will do them on a skillet next time and fry them. So there's lots of room for improvement here. So just the way that I'm doing it isn't the way that you have to do it. I'm just demonstrating this thing works. It works great. I'm really happy with this thing. When I get the tiny house together, I will absolutely use this thing. Because I want to go off-grid and I want a simple life. I don't like the civilized world. I hate it. I just want to disconnect myself from it, and that's another discussion. But I'm going to call that quits as far as demonstrations go. Use your imagination. You know more about cooking than I do, most likely. So, like I said, use a grill. And I mean, there's all kinds of options here. You could cook, stews or things in here, and then you'd have enough in the one pot for everybody. It wouldn't take so long. I just broke it up because I don't have a good pan, and it's just, again, it's just a demonstration video. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. This isn't the only way. This was a rather inefficient way, actually. But I'm going to call that quits as far as the cooking is concerned. The next thing I'm going to do is break this thing down and put it away, and see how easy it is to do that. So I'll be back with you in a little while. Okay, I haven't had much chance to play with this in the last week or so because weather has not been accommodating. But I'm going to. I really enjoy this thing. This thing is great. This was a great purchase. I'm going to be using this in the future. But really the main reason why I've decided to go with this particular Sun cooker is because it can be dismantled and stored away in this bag. And that was really the reason why I decided to go with it, because the others that were out there, some of them could also be taken apart, but they really took up a lot of space. And when I put this in my tiny house, space is, essential. Everyone knows that. So I am going to take this apart, and according to the instructions and common sense, you just do everything in reverse. And I'm not going to show everything because that would be boring and tedious and everything. So what I'm going to do is just do a little segment. So I'm going to start the process and just do little video clips to show you how things are going. So I'm going to start by taking the strings out, and I will be right back. Okay, that took about 3 minutes, I would say. Strings are all rolled up nicely and in the bag. Didn't take long at all. I'm not using a stopwatch or anything. I'm not that anal about this, but no problem so far. Okay, that took about 3 or 4 minutes, probably 4 minutes, maybe 5. I doubt 5, more like 4. I'm not exactly certain, but I did get a phone call during that, and that slowed things down a bit. But it's going pretty fast. This is just a fun little gadget. I'm having a good time with this. The guy that invented this thing, his name is Leo, and Leo, if you're watching this review, you're a genius, man. This is just a fun gadget. I'm really looking forward to you having this in my tiny house, and I hope to encourage other people to buy this as well, because this has been a fun one. Okay, I'll be back in just a minute with the next step. Okay, that that was about another 3 or 4 minutes now. You notice I put the bolts and the wing nuts, I inserted them into the rods here, and I did that on purpose. This way I won't lose them. I just hope they fit in the bag okay. But I can stagger them. Yeah, they should fit. And I don't want them sticking up like that, because it'll press upward to the side of the bag. I want it lying flat so it doesn't wear the bag out. But again, that was, 3, maybe 4 minutes, something like that. So pretty awesome. Now I'm going to move on to this part, and this one's going to be a little more time consuming, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, that took about, I don't know, probably 10 to 13 minutes to disassemble it to this level. Now I'm going to gently put it in the red bag. Okay, it might sound odd, but that actually took a couple minutes to figure out how to put the reflective pieces, triangular pieces, into the bag. I had to figure out the best way to do it. But I got it down now. Shouldn't be a problem again in the future. Now I'm going to put these cardboard inserts on either side so that they don't get damaged. And then I'll insert the rest of the things into the bag and call it done. Alright, I have got all the reflective inserts in between the cardboard so they don't get scratched by any of the other components. There you have it. Safely packed away, ready for the next use. I don't know how long it took. 20 minutes maybe. I don't know. It didn't take very long. I'm not anal enough to keep, tabs on the time with a stopwatch or anything. Pretty easy to do. A little tedious, but pretty easy to do, I would have to say. In conclusion, this is an awesome little Sun cooker. easy to assemble, a little tedious to assemble, but straightforward and easy. Easy to disassemble, easier to disassemble, and less tedious to disassemble. Works great, cooks great. When I get the right cookware, it'll cook even better. This is just absolutely the sun cooker that I was looking for the tiny house movement. Anyone interested in tiny houses and solar cooking, and I know that there's been at least one other video done by Deke Diedrichsen about solar cooking. So I know that there are other people in the tiny house movement that are interested in this kind of thing. This is the one I would absolutely recommend for the tiny house movement. This needs to be included in any off-grid tiny house. Awesome little device. I will provide links below where you can get your hands on one of these. And I hope you enjoyed the video.